if you want to play lockdown defense or get instant pressure on the quarterback, it all starts with the defensive playbook you're in. I'm BLT. I've taught Madden to millions of players across the world, and I'm going to get you right on defense, showing you the top 5 defensive playbooks you need to be in. But if you skip out on any of these, it could not fit your play style and be the reason you're still trash on defense. Let's jump right into it. All right, here at number 5, we're going to have the Tennessee Titans defensive playbook, a really good one that I've broken down before. Let me show you. Okay, so the first thing always with any defensive playbook, you need to make sure you have the best settings. Okay, we're going to come into our curl flats, put these on 5, safety depth and close width on pinch. Okay, obviously when we're talking about defense, we need to make sure we have good coaching adjustments. Okay, so we're going to, in this case, shift our defensive line to the left. We're going to spread our linebackers. Okay, so basically what that should do, I don't know why he's not doing it, but he needs to come stand over here. Okay, now what you want to do, this is hot blitz 3. So you want to stand right here above this offensive lineman and try to get his attention by turning him inside, okay? So here we're going to have them send 5 out. Boom, we're going to turn this guy inside. And what are you going to see? We're going to get a guy to come in free. Now, here's the thing. When you call this version the Send 6 version of Hot Blitz 3, you leave a lot of real estate open, obviously, here in the flat. So that's why I say, like, you know, sometimes you don't always want to send all those guys because if, you know, the blitz, if they can hold up for like a half a second, you're not going to be able to get any, you know, it's not going to be good for you. But here's the thing. You can make a very simple adjustment, put that guy in a curl flat, okay, set up, you know, more of a zone defense like this, okay? So put that guy in a curl flat, set up more of a zone. Okay, so now this is going to be a 5-man rush. So what we're going to do, I think I told you guys the wrong setup. You want to blitz this linebacker, then you want to shift your D-line right, okay? Now you're going to come stand right here over this guard, okay? Pass commit your defense. So this is what it's going to look like. Either version could work. I've ran both versions, but I'm going to put them in base protection here. Boom, try to get the attention of this guy, and then you're able to see we're able to get our linebacker to walk in free that time. Just understanding the principles of the defense. This time we send one less guy, and we get screaming pressure this time because I allow my blitzer to just run in right through the gap. Okay, boom. Very easy, very simple. Offensive line doesn't recognize because they're more focused on me to start the play. Boom, they're looking at me, and so we're able to come in free with this defender. Now, I'm not going to be one of these YouTubers that lies to you guys and tells you that every blitz comes in every play. That's not true, okay? Really, you're just trying to time up the blitz correctly and do the best job that you can to get your guys to come in free, okay? So shift D-line to the right here, okay? Boom, now I'm going to come stand right over him. Boom, I'm going to make sure that we actually have good coverage on the field, okay? Press RB, pass commit your defense. Okay, so now, let's see, so you're sending, still sending 5, okay? So this time, they're going to, again, set up base protection. Boom, try to get this guy's attention. And this time, we're able to see, they're able to block the blitz a little bit better. You have to make sure you have a good user over the middle of the field. But the problem for them still is everyone's in a one-on-one. And so, boom, this guy just wins his rep. He's in a one-on-one off the edge. This is just an easy one because you're overloading one side of the offensive line, forcing these guys to come over. If you want to have a better user and engage with the offensive line, you could certainly do that, as well. That's going to be pretty good for you. But, you can touch the guy, like fully engage with him right here. I'm kind of being passive and like trying to get back into coverage. But if you want to actually just ram into one of these linemen, allows your guys to come in free a little bit better, okay? So that's a really good blitz from the Titans defensive playbook. Again, I told you guys, I've talked about the Titans defense, a lot so far this year. But obviously, we have 3-3 odd, we have 2-4 double mug, both formations we're going to talk about later in this video. And then you have dime 2-3 will, which really, again, I've talked about before, but you have DB Fire 2, allows you to really do a good job of containing those quarterbacks off the edge, right? So quickly right here, if you're playing against just a quarterback here, you can just, contain. Now your slot corners are in a contain. They're going to go ahead and call a pass play right here, try to roll out, and you can just see how my slot corner in a contain is perfectly right there to bring the guy down. So Titans gives you a lot of defensive versatility, which is why you need to be using it in Madden 26. All right, have you ever watched a pro Madden tournament, watch Henry, watch Clef, and wondered how they were to play lockdown defense? It's probably because they're in this playbook I'm about to show you. All right, so out of this Jaguars playbook, okay, we're going to come into the Jaguars, we're going to come into the nickel 3-3 double mug, okay? That's the play that we're kind of going to be looking at here, okay? So, it's just, I mean, it's really just mid blitz, right? You guys, some of you guys know about this, beginner players, pay attention, right? It's a numbers advantage for you. So if they send the running back out, you walk your safety down like this, right? Boom. You have to make sure you jump out here with your back, to the back with your user, and then you're able to get one or two guys to come in free off the edge, depending on how the offensive line plays this, right? Boom, able to get this guy to come in free right off the edge. You have more guys over their offensive line than they can even block, so it just makes sense. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go through it again right here. Boom, they can set up whatever base pass protection, whatever. Boom, we jump out here, and again, this is gonna happen. Like this is a blitz that's guaranteed to work. Like as far as if they send 5 out, you're just gonna, if they can't beat man coverage quickly, they're gonna have a huge problem with this blitz clearly, right? And so what if they block their running back? Okay, well if they block their running back, I can either choose to use a rush now, which still creates that numbers advantage for me, right? Because now it would be 7-on-6 instead of 6-on-5, okay? So you can either user rush them. The only problem I would say with actually using that strategy and user rushing them now is that you leave the middle of the field open. So boom and boom, right? I mean, you just completely, as far as this isn't bad man coverage and this isn't bad man coverage, but if your user's there, they absolutely can't throw that. So honestly, if they were blocking the running back and I were running mid blitz, I would just user now. Okay, I would just user over the middle of the field, because now you see how everyone's still gonna be in a one-on-one situation, because now it's 6-on-6. Right, and so when everyone's in a one-on-one, that's a win for you. Okay, and let me tell you why. This is a linebacker right here. Number 0, he's a linebacker. So boom, he's just gonna absolutely destroy a halfback, Tony Pollard. This is easy work. So it's just not that beneficial for them anyway, to block their running back, right? Sometimes they're here's a quick nugget for you guys, right? If you want to half slide your offensive line, right, and then you want to ID, this is how I would block this blitz, okay? But again, it's still 6-on-6. And so a guy's still going to come in free, but now the running back's obviously going to pick him up. So boom, take the snap, offense. Now you still see what happens, where even that's the best pass protection pretty much that they can get if they decide to try to block mid blitz. But obviously, right, boom, it's mid blitz, right? This is Josh Allen, the Jaguars. Josh Allen comes right through and just runs over Tony Pollard, because again, he's a defensive end. Running backs can't block defensive ends, right? And so even on the other side of this play, everyone else is in a one-on-one. This is boom. I mean, this is crazy. This is a linebacker shedding an offensive lineman and quarterbacks on the ground. So mid blitz is a problem, man. If they can't beat man coverage quickly, they're gonna have a lot of trouble, trying to deal with double mug here, okay? And there's some other defenses. I would say that I'm gonna show you another setup out of mid blitz later in the video, so make sure you stick around. That makes double mug very good, but even having single mug, right? Even having there's some other formations in here you can run. I've seen 3-3-5 over flex be good. 3-4 under, 4-3 even, 6-1, right? We come into this formation and boom, we go ahead, pinch our defensive line. We stand right over the center, okay? And again, it's the same thing. The center blocks, we go out into coverage, and you can see the same thing. If everyone's in a one-on-one, it's gonna be a problem for you now. This formation, for some reason, gets some of the craziest nano blitzes I've ever seen. So we'll see if we can get them. If you crash your defensive line inside, you can actually get some of those. So boom, and then you're able to see you let a guy come in free, okay? So if you want to engage with the center, just make sure that you're spamming the A button to get off the block as soon as possible. You see how I get the attention of 79 and now he's blocking me? Okay, well now I just spam the A button, get off the block fast, and then I'm able to get back and guard this backside dig route over the middle of the field, right? And so what does that do? It creates our same numbers advantage now, 7-on-6, lets one of our guys come in free off the edge. Offensive line has no chance. So honestly, Jaguars playbook, you understand now why the pros like this. They like 4-3 even 6-1 because of the pressure looks. Obviously like mid blitz for the same reason, pressure looks. And then, you know, you come into dime 3-2, there's a really good loop blitz that I've talked about in some of my other videos that you can run from this, you know, playbook too. So overall, Jaguars defense, you can see why it's a fan favorite, and one that if you want to play like the pros and play lockdown defense from mid blitz, you should probably be in this one. All right, and if you go into your next game and you're still struggling on defense to run any of these playbooks, I encourage you to book a one-on-one coaching session at bltforlife21.com. Choose between all of our packages and different offers, and you're going to transform your game. Hundreds of players have gone through this and improved, and I want to make you next. Check it out at the link down below in the pinned comment. All right, so our next defensive playbook is the Las Vegas Raiders, and it has some cool stuff that you've probably never seen before. Let me show you. All right, so we're gonna come into the Las Vegas Raiders playbook here. We're going to come into nickel 3-3 cub, okay? This is the play Mike Blitz 0, a really good, again, overload blitz. Okay, so really how I would set this up is I would shift my D-line to the left right here, okay? So we're trying to overload off this left side. Now you wanna drop this defensive end into coverage. Understand your personnel though. This is Max Crosby. If I was playing a game, I wouldn't drop Max Crosby into a curl flat here. I would probably just substitute someone else there and put Crosby on my D-line. But for the sake of this, it really doesn't matter to me. So again, just understand your personnel, but you're gonna have to drop that outside linebacker into a zone, okay? You're gonna press RB, right stick up, okay? You're going to pass commit your defense. What is that gonna do? That's going to make it very easy for these guys to come in free. Now, the key with this is making sure that you are gonna turbo engage. So I talk about this in so many defensive breakdowns now, okay? When you're blitzing, a lot of time you have to make sure you're getting the attention of the offensive line, which means pressing D-pad up, pressing right trigger, left stick down, okay? Now, as soon as they snap the ball, you want to spam the A button to get off the block. So boom, spam A, and now you're able to see, we're able to get pressure. All right, so this is a key coaching point that you guys need to understand, and I'm glad it happened, okay? So I don't want you guys to go into games and go into practice but not understand why something doesn't work. I wanted this blitz to come flying in free. Now, did we still get pressure? Yes. Did we still sack the quarterback? Yes, because our man coverage was good in the back end. But we want this blitz to come in free, and the way that you do it is watch 65, okay? I do not get his attention. I'm getting the attention of 71. You have to get the attention of the center, because if you get the attention of the center, then you have a numbers advantage over on the left side. So the best way to do that is to just stand a little bit more inside. You can see on the last play, I was standing right over him. Now I'm standing on the left of him, okay? So this basically guarantees that I'm gonna get his attention. Again, drop Max Crosby or whoever's in that position in a zone assignment, D-pad up, right stick, right trigger, left stick down, okay? Boom, take it now, and now you see I'm able to get, oh no, I still actually got the attention. He's actually really doing a good job of not touching me here, which is kind of annoying, because if I can just get his attention and like, I mean, I don't even, this is just terrible physics by EA. I'm standing right over this dude, bro. Can I please just get his attention? All right, I'm gonna try again. And this is why I say no blitzes ever 100%, because a lot of these blitzes rely on very fine details. Okay, I'm literally standing right over this dude. If I don't get his attention, I am going to absolutely lose my mind, okay? Boom, take it. This time, okay, then you're able to see I get his attention, and so we're able to get the blitz to come in free, okay? So it's just really those little details, and that's why you watch BLT, because no one's gonna tell you that. If you're not getting the attention of the right defender, you're not gonna be able to do anything on defense, okay? And so, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Getting the attention of the center and not one of the guards here, okay? Again, so shift that D-line to the left, drop that guy into coverage, stand right over this guy, turbo engage with him, boom, I get his attention, and there you're able to see, finally, I'm able to just get my guy to fly in free off the edge. So take some practice, take some precision, but you're able to see this is what I'm talking about. When we get his attention, we have a numbers advantage 3-on-2 on the left side of the offensive line. And so we take advantage of that and get a guy to come in free, because now on the left side, they have the advantage, but that's fine because we have the advantage of left, and we just get an extra guy to come in free. And again, you're gonna say, BLT, what if they block their running back? Well, if they block their running back, well, you can clearly see that I've talked about it so many times in this video. defensive ends are going to absolutely demolish halfbacks in one-on-one blocking situations. So really, it's not a problem for us. So again, another blitz where if they can't beat man coverage quickly, and here it's literally instantly, if you set it up correctly, you get instant pressure flying in. So if they can't beat that immediately, which not a lot of players are going to be able to do, especially at this level, going to be pretty easy for you on defense. So again, that's just Mike Blitz 0 from, nickel through the odd. You can actually run that same blitz from zone coverage. If you wanted to call Sam Will Blitz 3, shift the D line. It's just an overload blitz. We talk about overload blitzes so much here on this channel, as you guys, clearly know if you've been watching so far this year. And then also you have dime 2-3 Sam, which is kind of what I'm talking about, where you can actually safety blitz them if you wanted to here. So boom, I'm going to come into this right here. All right, so really what I would do if I was calling a defense like this is I would just stand right here and try to get the attention of this guard, okay, and move him inside. Okay, so we're gonna stand right over him. Boom, take it, try to move him inside, and then you're able to see how, wow, he was this close to coming in free right there. But you're able to see when you move him inside, you make it really easy for those off the ball players to actually walk in the backfield, okay? 71, boom, turn him all the way inside, and he actually recovers a little bit late, but you can see how you have a faster player at this position, but you're gonna be able to just take advantage of that. And then you also have your safety flying in, which I don't even know if you really would even need to blitz this guy. I mean, if he comes in free, if you can get 52 to come in free, you might not even need to blitz your safety. But I would still toy with them and like show the threat of a safety blitz. So at least like do it one time. So again, stand right here, boom, try to turn him inside. And then that time the safety actually is the one who comes in free. They block the rusher. And then, so really off the ball blitzes are good when you can get the attention of a guard. And so sending two safeties instead of, two players off the ball is going to be a lot easier for you to actually just get a guy to just walk in free, because you see again how 71 completely just doesn't even recognize me, or doesn't even, just completely recognizes me and no one else. And so I'm able to get a guy to come in free, blown assignment, 5-man rush, 5 or 6-man protection. We're able to get a guy to just clearly just walk in free. So that is the Las Vegas Raiders playbook, a really good defensive playbook that no one talks about because they have some of the best blitzes in the game. All right, we're bringing out the old Bill Belichick Patriots playbook here in defense to help you guys lock down. Patriots, one of the best. Let me show you. All right, so wouldn't it be a Bill Belichick style defense if we didn't incorporate a little bit of match coverage here, okay? So again, close pinch for your safety depth, and disabled, and then really the key is making sure all 3 of these zone drop depth, flats, pro flats, hooks are on default when you're calling a match coverage based play like we are here. From nickel through the odd, we're gonna be calling cover 6, okay? So really, BLT, when is this good? Well, this is good when they want to call a flood concept like they're going to on the right side here. Brock Bowers, Asher Genty, Thornton Jr. here, okay? They're gonna be flooding this side, okay? So this is going to be pretty good defense. So you're gonna see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna jump out here with my user, boom, and then you're able to see everything else is going to be guarded pretty well, okay? It's all about recognition though. You understand that if you're in a cover 6 especially, you have a cover 2 over here, cover 2 match, which can give up the flat a little bit. So you can see I immediately jump out here. And once I do that, it's perfect defense, okay? People are gonna sell you a dream and tell you that, hey, you can run this defense, everything's gonna be locked down. That's only the case if you get really sticky match coverage. If you're running, man coverage. If you're running zone coverage or match, you have to actually do something with your user defender. There's a reason you have the guy in the first place. And you see, I'm able to do that here. We take away their hitch. We take away their backside dig with our cover 4 match side. Okay, boom. Then we're able to just take away their corner out, bracket these guys really well, take this away down the field, double team this. And the great thing also about this particular coverage shell is if they want to flood the other side of the field this time, okay, so boom, and then they're going to go ahead and put Brock Bowers on a drag. So this time they're going to be flooding the left side. Okay, boom, I'm here, Now I can also switch stick pretty well and get to the other side of the field, okay? So that's the thing though, when you're running match, it's a little bit unpredictable. And so sometimes like this will randomly happen. This guy's in a soft spot, so he's just gonna leave this area. So you have to, again, make sure you have a good user. Don't cry in the comments talking about this guy's open. Yes, you have to actually guard something on the field. And this is a little bit of a high risk, high reward coverage because you are able to see that this flood concept, which is something I know some of you guys struggle with, flood concepts, just corner routes, this is guarded. Even if this was a post route, this would be guarded. Okay, we're absolutely strapping this, but then again, you might give up something on the backside of the play, which is why having a good user is pretty important. Okay, if you wanted to, to prevent that from happening, you could put your defender in a hard flat this time, kind of cancel his match coverage. Okay, boom. Now you're gonna be able to see we're gonna take it. We can user that, and now we can switch it here. And now it's totally lockdown defense if you get pressure on the quarterback. So match coverage gonna be pretty confusing for the offense. Just gonna be pretty transparent with you guys because they're gonna see this and think they just have a wide open dot on the sideline against cover 3 or cover 4. But obviously that's not gonna be the case because we're in match coverage. Our zones are gonna be converting to man coverage down the field, and we're gonna do a good job of bracketing certain routes like that one that they might try to force down the field. This just looks like, hey, we're splitting cover 2 with our post, but no, we're sitting right on it. It's gonna be perfect defense. Obviously, like I just said, gives you good switch stick ability as well, from the match coverage. But Patriots defense not done there because, we can turn the heat on, especially if we're playing against an inexperienced player, young quarterback, right? We're gonna come into mid blitz, okay? We're going to come into the left exit 2-man custom stunt, okay? We're going to take this guy, Spillane right here, and try to get the attention of this center. How do we do that? We drop the defensive end into a curl flat here, okay? Press D-pad up. Yeah, so we're gonna turbo engage again, basically. Drop our user into a zone so we can still switch stick. Boom, press D-pad up, press right trigger, left stick down, okay? Boom, they're gonna take the snap. We get the attention of the center, and then you're able to see a guy is able to just come in free. Now, there's a reason why people run man coverage behind this a lot of the time and not zone, because you understand if I can just get quick pressure like this, I mean, it's easy work. Boom, A-gap rusher, 4-man rush. 4-man rush, because I'm dropping back into coverage. I'm spamming the A button, which allows me to get off that block sooner. And so essentially, I'm back into coverage before the offense can even blink. So the key is overloading one side by dropping the defensive end into a curl flat here, pass committing your defense, okay? And then turbo engaging, making sure that you're getting the attention of the center. D-pad up, left stick down, right trigger. Boom, get his attention. What does that do? Allows 2 of our rushers to come in free. Even if they block their running back on that play, one guy still comes in completely free, and then one guy will probably just run over the running back, okay? Very confusing blitz here. A lot of players, I run this against a lot of players. I mean, this is intimidating. Why are 2 guys immediately getting after you? But you can see on this side, they have the numbers advantage. They have 2 versus, or no, I'm really looking at 4 offensive linemen over here on this side. And we only are gonna be blitzing 2. So 2 guys are essentially doing nothing, which is why 2 of these guys come in free off the edge. I mean, you're just taking advantage of the pretty mediocre, offensive line logic in this game, especially when you mix in custom stunts. I saw it at the beginning of the year, even as soon as CFB came out. Custom stunts were going to be the way. They were going to completely change defense, completely change pass rush here in this game, as they have been in previous years in the NFL. So make sure that you're using that left exit 2-man custom stunt to get really good pressure from this double mug mid blitz. All right, so the best defensive playbook you need to be using right now is going to be the Minnesota Vikings defense. I actually just dropped a game plan over at bltforlife21.com. You can get it today and combine it with my Steelers offense to get a discount. But Vikings defense, the best in the game. Let me show you. All right, when we come into the Minnesota Vikings playbook, it's just blitz, 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 okay? That's all we're trying to do, okay? And this is my favorite defensive playbook because they're zone blitzes, okay? First, we're gonna come into 3-4 odd, okay? All I'm going to do, call Tampa 2. This is an easy setup that anyone can master, okay? Make sure you move this guy over to about probably right here, okay? Boom, blitz him. So now defense is gonna look something like this, okay? You wanna make sure you shift your D-line to the right, okay? Shift D-line right, blitz this linebacker right here that's in a hook row, okay? B. So you're going to blitz him, and then you're going to drop this defensive end, Van Ginkel, boom. You're going to drop him into a zone. So defense is going to look something like this, okay? Very easy setup. Again, you could probably guess the theme of this blitz. It's just overloading. We have 4 defensive linemen on one side of the offensive line, and so if we can get the attention of the center, we're going to have a guaranteed pressure right in the quarterback's face, okay? We're going to first have them send 5 out, use base protection, what a lot of players are going to do, especially if you catch them off guard, okay? Boom, we're going to take this snap. We get the attention of the center, and what happens? When we do that, we want to make sure we're spamming the A button. With this blitz, you actually don't have to actually engage with him. You can kind of just mindlessly get his attention, because you're going to see you get 2 guys to come in free on this play, this guy and then this looper off the edge. So kind of a loop blitz here that's going to be pretty good for you. So again, set it up the same way. Move this guy inside if he's not already. Blitz him. Shift D line. Blitz this linebacker right here. Okay, then drop Van Ginkel into a zone. Getting good with your quick adjustments. That's why I say you have to practice these blitzes so that you can, try to set them up faster and avoid getting quick snap, okay? But we're gonna make sure we're standing right here over this center, have them send 5 out from base protection. Once again, boom, get this guy's attention, and then you're able to see quarterback going to go down on the ground fairly quickly because you have that looping linebacker. Something that could be important is making sure you have fast players in those positions. That will certainly help you, but you have to make sure you have a good user over the middle of the field. Make sure you're switch sticking, because again, some of these seams could be open here, especially because if you're playing against bunch, right, they have 3 receivers on this side, and so it's all about quick reads from them. But honestly, you could just switch stick this. If you're good with the switch stick, come down and basically take away both of these guys, then user over the middle of the field with Jerry Jeudy. So really not that big of a deal there. The bigger issue here is just making sure you can get pressure, okay? Make sure you can get pressure, making sure you're engaging with this offensive lineman, and making sure you're getting your loop guys to come in free, okay? You're gonna say, BLT, what if they block their running back, okay? Well, if they block their running back, we're gonna set it up the same way. We don't really worry about stuff like that, okay? Now, boom, blitz that guy, blitz him. Now, if you want to, you can cross-man the tight end with this defender, which will probably throw off a lot of offensive players here, especially because no one's gonna be breaking out to the flat that he would be covering. So boom, take it, spam egg, get off that block, and make sure you're getting back over the middle of the field, okay? If they're gonna call like a crosser from verticals, for example, you can't leave the middle of the field open. So I'm holding 2 controllers, but you would just make sure you're spamming A and then get back up here and take this away. Very easy. Again, if you want to, you can switch onto Harrison Smith, come down, take away that crosser, boom. And this time you can see how this wheel route's going to be taken away pretty well by Van Ginkel in this cross man assignment. Again, throw off a lot of offensive players. And then again, like I just said, boom, we get this attention. And then Judkins comes over, blocks this guy, and then we're able to get Anthony Barr to come around and make that play on Shadir Sanders, the quarterback there. So that's 3-4 odd. Blitz, blitz, blitz. That's the theme of this defense. But obviously, we're going to come into nickel through the odd. The best blitz still, in my opinion, in this game, calling overload 3 press. Okay, boom. We're going to show blitz by pressing RB twice. Pass commit our defense here. Okay, this is the blitz. I've talked about this in a lot of shorts and a lot of videos, okay? All we're gonna do, make sure that you're standing right here over number 70, this guard right here, and you're gonna turn him inside, okay? Same theme we talked about earlier. Boom, take it, turn him inside, and what does that do? It allows for our slot corner off the edge to come in, screaming in very easily, very quickly, okay? By overloading one side of the offensive line, again, you make it tough for them. And then boom, this guy walks in free. Again, because I'm getting the attention of number 70 right here. If I could lock onto him, which they're not gonna let me, but I get the attention of number 70, and so it makes it extremely easy for our guys to come in free. So again, show blitz by pressing RB twice, pass commit your defense by pressing RB, then right stick up, okay? Boom, take it, turn him inside, and then again, I'm not selling you guys a full stream. The blitz doesn't come in flying in every time, but that's why, again, you have good defensive linemen, and you're able to kind of take advantage of the fact that, you have good defensive linemen, you have good players, and so you're able to get sheds, okay? But for the most part, you do your job correctly as far as having a good user and getting the attention of this guy right here, you're going to be perfectly fine as far as getting this blitz to come in. Boom, get his attention, and then you're able to see guy comes in free, forces a fumble, and quarterback's on the ground. Okay, very simple blitz, not really too much to break down. Again, making sure you're having a good user, getting back into coverage, and you're going to be perfectly fine on defense once you get that guard's attention. All right, so again, if you're still struggling on defense in Madden 26, I want to personally work with you one-on-one to change that. Check out this video right here where I break down all the ways that we can work together to help you become better at Madden 26. Peace.